what nootropics can do for you. I'm out here in Sand Island in Bethlehem with a selfie stick doing this video about nootropics because I'm passionate about nootropics. I've been taking nootropics on and off for 6 years. I've used them to build 2 companies, both of which are national, one of which is about to be global. And the bottom line behind components that affect human brain function and do so in a way that, depending on whether or not they cross the blood-brain barrier quickly, that is overt and noticeable, is that they work. They work. There's a lot of nootropics that for whatever reasons may not be as effective for certain people compared to the efficacy of those same nootropics with other people. But that's based on your brain chemistry, B vitamin, quantity, and a bunch of other things. But I gotta tell you, if you're a corporate ladder climber and you're trying to move your way up the ladder and you've got just a disproportionate amount of work to do throughout the course of the day, and you've got to sort of keep up with the work quantity that keeps coming at you, yeah, nootropics are going to help your brain to do that. At the end of the day, people forget that what underlies your capacity to be effective in all of these areas isn't some foreign concept of how good you are at something. The thing that underlies your efficacy in those areas is your brain. It's the processing speed of your brain. It's the focus capacity of your brain. It's everything else that your brain is controlled by, and that underlies the regular functioning of your brain. And if you want to perform great in corporate and kill it, nootropics are one of the things that's going to set you apart from your peers and put you in a place where, compared to your peers, you function better. It's just the way that it is. And I'm not a corporate guy. I used to be in corporate, and I wanted to jump off a building. I hated it. I hated corporate. I was so closed in. I could never make the money that I wanted to make and do the things that I wanted to do. I'm just dressed like this because this is who I am. I'm an entrepreneur, and this is, these are my standards to wear a 3-piece. By the way, I'm wearing, ripped jeans, so I'm not all the way, I'm not all the way being a corporate-y dress type. But man, if I was a corporate, I'd be taking nootropics every day. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm out here killing it. The demand for my brain to work better, to process better, for me to have better focus is higher. I run not one company, but that's enough. 2 companies. If I was just running one company, which, like I was before I started the second company that I own now, man, that company alone is crazy. It's an iPad repair company. We get iPads and iPhones shipped from everywhere around the country every day. And we've got corporate clients that send us 50 iPads at a time, all the time. The phone's ringing every day, and during normal business hours and thereafter, but during normal business hours, the whole time the phone's ringing. We got dead days every now and then, but the phone's ringing all the time. Stuff's going on all the time. I need, and nootropics have helped me to build that company, sustain my brain throughout that time, to have the energy to do that. I'm an energized guy as it is. Being an entrepreneur, that's what made me become an entrepreneur, and I've been energized, really it started when I was somewhere around, it's around, 23, 24 years old. After I got out of the military, I just became energized. I really starts to correspond with when I started meditating, but now I'm getting off topic. Nootropics are amazing. If you're an entrepreneur, they're necessary for you. And by the way, we don't have to talk about modafinil or Ritalin or Adderall. Modafinil, that's a smart drug. That's considered a nootropic in my book. Ritalin and Adderall, no fucking way. No way. They're just not nootropics. And I'm sick and tired of seeing that being written about when people are talking about nootropics. Those aren't nootropics. That's not what it's about. That's not what real nootropic users are taking nootropics and getting a great benefit from. Things that have massive side effects and damage your brain. Are you kidding me? You want to function awesomely throughout the day and have no negative side effects. You don't want to have a strong surge in, and you don't want to have a strong drop off. You don't want either of those things. A good nootropic will deliver that and make your brain perform well. See, your brain can perform really, really well and really, really functionally and have a lot of focus and a lot of the other elements of brain function that you consider necessary to kill it in life, and not be taking something that onsets crazy and makes you feel like you're on a drug or something. I certainly feel the nootropics that I take. I take Cortex Gen 1, and now I'm on Cortex Gen 2 experimental for that launch, which, by the way, guys, is coming August or so, 2016, if everything goes right. But the onset is very smooth with Cortex. And, the feeling is my brain it's 1 minute my brain's functioning at baseline, which is pretty optimal. And then the next, I'm functioning awesomely. And there really wasn't a change like this crazy onset. It's just like, holy crap, like now I'm functioning really awesomely, I can tell, and it lasts and it lasts and it lasts and it lasts, and that's what nootropics should be. And me being an entrepreneur, that's why I take nootropics. And you can have a nootropic last all day long and affect you positively and make your brain work better. If you're wondering, what are the areas in which, like, I notice, or people that take nootropics notice, that one notices like significant improvement in? Verbal fluency. Are you kidding me, man? The capacity to form sentences and deliver words sometimes is just botched if your brain isn't working well. You know how it is. You've been in those situations before. You can't find the right word. You can't even put sentences together correctly. Look at me. I operate like this mostly all the time, but I'm a lot more verbally fluent right now than I would normally be. I took the Cortex Gen 2 stack today. It's a super stack. It's got Alcar, CDP choline, uridine monophosphate, B vitamins. These are constituents of the human brain. You need them. They optimize neurological function. It's what they do. It's like vitamins, right? What else? Focus. If I want to sit down and focus on something for 4 hours at a time, which I've got to do all the time, it's easy. It's easy for me to focus because I've got nootropics working in my brain. That the mechanisms that control focus in your brain are influenced directly by chemical compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier and affect the way that neurons in your brain function. It's really quite simple. It's very objective. Nootropics are very, very objective, right? It isn't some sort of magical like potion. It isn't some sort of charlatan-based fraud. It's science. It's pure science. There's plenty behind it, and you can read about it if you're curious. But those are a couple ways I can focus as long as I need to focus. When nootropics, I got the right stack in my brain working, as long as I need. Working memory, right? I've got to remember serial numbers throughout the day, dealing with iPads for one of my companies. There's just a whole host of things that I've got to keep in my memory all the time. I never, when taking the right stack, never have a working memory issue, ever. It just doesn't happen, right? Throughout the course of the day, I could stack 20 things in my memory, throughout the day, like having someone on the phone or dealing with a customer here or dealing with like something, a contract here, and then having a device on the bench and kind of being concerned about what's wrong with the device and what we need to do next. I've got to order parts. It's all just stacks in my memory, and it's right there when I need it. I don't even have to think about it. It's right there. It's easy. And working memory is important, man. You want to outperform your peers in corporate. You want to outperform your peers as an entrepreneur. You want to do well as an entrepreneur. Make money so you can do things like this. You can drive cars like this, right? You want to drive the Benz? You need the brain performance for that, to drive the Benz, all right? You need brain performance. You need the working memory to drive the Benz and make it happen. Everybody's looking for a pay raise in corporate, right? Yep. Get your brain working well. Drive the Benz. That's what everybody wants, right? I mean, people want to make more money. We want to drive nice cars. People want to have nice things. That's America for you, right? It is what it is. So there's a lot that nootropics have to offer, a lot. And it really doesn't end there. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Processing speed. If you need the brain, the brain capacity to calculate a lot of information at once, you're a CPA or whatever, you're a math student, whatever it is you need to do, you're working in corporate and you've got to calculate a lot of information because that happens, frequently. Nootropics will help your processing speed. It's really just an entirely different world. If you've not tried the Cortex Nootropics, snag a bottle at livecortex.com. We sell a product that I've made. It's Generation 1 is out right now, and depending on when you're watching this, Generation 2 might also be out. It combines a few ingredients, like I said before, that are major constituents of the human brain that combine to form phosphatidylcholine, a major phosphatide in the human brain that's the structural component of cells called cell membranes. And it's just a very awesome focus stack. There's a professor who's been a professor at Virginia Tech for 50 years who takes the stack and says it gives him an integrated feeling in his brain. That is powerful feedback right there. So snag a bottle of Cortex if you haven't tried it, and listen, whatever, Cortex or whatever, go get some aniracetam. Sorry about the cops in the background there, the ambulance. Go get some, whatever, try modafinil, try some of the other racetams. Oxyracetam is one of my favorites. Whatever it is though, if you're in corporate and you're an entrepreneur, either one of those, if you're somebody that needs to get work done, take nootropics and go read about like what I've posted on livecortex.com about the long-term safety of nootropics. Just Google that and Live Cortex. You'll find the article. We did a podcast about the long-term safety of nootropics. No worse than alcohol, far better than alcohol, alcohol is neurotoxic. You know, these are neuroprotective agents, right? You know, I'm just trying to sort of dispel myths that nootropics are some sort of bad thing. It's, again, like I said before, because people talk about Ritalin and a lot of these other drugs, which are not nootropics. You know, the stuff I take, Cortex Gen 1, Gen 2, Alcar, CDP choline, uridine monophosphate, methylfolate, methylcobalamin, make the brain work incredibly. And they're constituents of the human brain as it is, and the human body. You're just putting them in a much more bioavailable way, in a way that crosses the blood-brain barrier so that it instantly affects the brain and does so in a controllable manner. You get to control, by the dose, how much of these things go into your brain, so you can improve performance. Otherwise, the body tries to limit the amount of acetylcholine and the amount of acetyl L-carnitine you've got affecting your brain. You get to control this. Very powerful. I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.